Hey everyone, in this video we are covering vital point sparring. This is kind of a fun game, but it's also really serious. Now, if you've already watched the video on the 10 vital points, it's going to be easy for you to pick out when we strike those. But there are 10 vital points that you have to have memorized in the advanced belt ranks. So Joshua and I are going to be working with those vital points, and we're going to practice kind of a game of tag with those vital points, practicing using all of the strikes and everything that we know so far and trying to put those into place. Now there are several levels of this. I'm going to show you those levels as we go. So the very first level, we're going to go ahead and bow to each other just like we normally would, saying, hey, I promise to follow the rules. The rules are these. Don't kill someone, okay? That's rule number one. Number two, it is touch contact. We are not in here trying to beat each other up or bruise each other or damage anyone. Instead, we're just touching those points that we've talked about. You can grab, you can trip, you can use leg sweeps, you can use takedowns, you can use all sorts of stuff, as long as you do it safely and slowly so that your training partner is maintaining safety and so that you are as well. You can't do any gouging. If you're going to pretend like you're touching the eyeballs, you can do it by putting your thumb above or below the eye. I prefer above, that way if you slip, you're going to slip over the eye and not into the eye, okay? If you're going to strike any vital point, you're going to do it very, very gently, okay? Like you're touching your mother's favorite vase at home and you don't want to break it, okay? So, Joshua and I have bowed to each other. We're going to start from about this distance with our hands up and extended. A lot of times in self-defense, people want to do this, okay? They want to get their fists up and look mean. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't look good on camera, and everybody has a phone these days. So I want you to practice having your hands up and open in this defensive posture with a good stance. Now, one of us is going to choose to move first, all right? These are single moves. They're about 30 to 40% speed, and Joshua, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first. So he's going to try to hit some vital point, okay? So he's going for my collarbone here. I'm just going to block that. It is acceptable to block in this type of sparring, okay? Now, I'm going to now look for a specific spot to strike. For me, his liver is pretty open, so I'm going to grab this hand and control it while I strike the liver. Now, he did a good job of turning and blocking that. Now it's his decision to go ahead and choose another point to strike. So he goes for the knee. For me, I'm going to catch that knee and go for a kidney shot here, which puts me a little bit behind him. Now his job is to find another point to strike. Maybe a good option would be a reverse elbow into the solar plexus or into the face here. Either one of those would be great. And again, I've got to come up with a different point. Now, you notice that neither one of us are acting as if we've been debilitated here, okay? The reality is that if you hit somebody in these points, they're going to react, but that's not the goal here. We're not here to be dramatic and get filmed on TV, okay? We're here to practice hitting those different points from different positions in as many ways as we can. Now, a different way to do this, a more advanced level of this, would be to do multiple strikes at a time. So, Mr. Joshua, let's just go ahead and move around and show them the single strike, and then we'll transition into doing multiple strikes at a time, okay? All right, here we go. So let's bow, sorry. And then face each other, hands are up. Notice that our range is very close. We're not out here doing this fancy jumping around nonsense, okay? All right, so I'm gonna strike first. Boom, you strike, boom. I'm gonna strike, boom. Boom. Okay, so that's our single strike. Now I'm going to transition into doing multiple strikes at a time. Okay, Mr. Joshua, I'm going to let you strike first this time. Okay, and he goes ahead and responds to that. I'm ready. And at some point, you may get to a point where you're like, you know, I don't really know what to do. And that's okay, because that tells you, okay, I need to take a minute and pause in that position and decide, okay, if I'm in this position and I want to strike a vital point, how do I get from where I am to where I want to be? Now, you notice that neither one of us got hurt, okay? We're both still in one piece. There are no bruises or marks on our bodies. We're taking this really slow and easy. When we make contact, we're just contacting surface. It's pretty easy to practice contacting surface and then in a real situation to go ahead and follow through with those strikes because you've been practicing your follow through on the heavy bags. All right, guys, there's your vital point sparring. Please do not practice this at home without supervision. You need to be practicing this with trained opponents here in the dojo. Thanks, guys. Keep training, keep growing. We'll see you in the next one.